This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, there were big plans for this big building in the city of Hazleton. We'll get an update on what's happening now from Standard Speaker Managing Editor Mark Ketcher. Good evening and thank you for joining us at FYI. I'm Ken Kara. Let's start with headlines from FYI News 13 and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. A homeschool visitor for the Hazleton Area School District unexpectedly found 3 small children home alone. District Superintendent Dr. Francis X. Antonelli and George Donda and the Director of Elementary and Middle Schools tell FYI that the homeschool visitor stopped at the home to discuss absenteeism, but instead found a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an infant all left unattended. The district notified Luzerne County Children and Youth and Hazleton Police. District officials say that a 14-year-old cousin was later found sleeping in the attic. His mother was unaware that he was there. Officials were attempting to get in touch with the adults responsible for the 3 small children. It looks like a major project that would give new life to an old hospital may be off the drawing table. Lisa Sugart sat down with Standard Speaker Managing Editor Mark Ketcher for the latest.
Well, each week we usually take time to sit down with the managing editor of the Hazleton Standard Speaker, Mark Ketcher, and we would like to reintroduce you to the new Mark Ketcher boasting a new look. I didn't recognize you when you came through the door today.
Yeah, it's summertime, and it was time for the old hair to go and for the short look to make its appearance. I think everybody can agree that once summer hits, you want to stay as cool as possible, and this is the way I do it. So.
Well, I don't know, maybe I'll have to consider because it gets a little annoying trying to fix this as well. Right. I could sympathize and see what you mean, but we like the look either way. Just want you to know that.
Thanks. Actually, my kids took part in cutting the hair.
Oh.
Yeah, which was interesting. I put a lot of trust in them when I give them the scissors. But I think it turned out well, and they had a blast, so we had a good time.
Wow,
yeah.
You are very brave. It came out great for them being involved in it, honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now on to another topic that you came to talk about today. Interesting. We were all wondering what the future was with the former St. Joseph Hospital on the corner of Church Street there, and I guess it is 8th Street in the city of Hazleton. We were hoping we were going to see that opening up soon, and doesn't seem that that's going to be the case.
Right. We've been following this case for about a year. It was actually in May of 2013 that the Claremont Group purchased this building from the then Greater Hazleton Health Alliance, and they had proposed an assisted living facility at the former St. Joseph's Hospital, which of course has sat empty since it closed several years ago. So at the time they had proposed this facility and we reported on it, but even then we had trouble contacting the company. It was difficult getting information from them, so even at the time, again a year ago, it seemed like things weren't quite right with the proposal. But we reported on it and we told people of their plans, and it looked for some time that they were moving forward with the plans. There was work going on there, but all of a sudden the work seemed to have stopped. Obviously caught our attention, so we made some phone calls and did some interviews and found that yeah, indeed the work had stopped, and it looks like the plans have stalled, if not fallen through.
With everything else that's going on in Hazleton, all the positive in the downtown, this would have been a nice addition for that to become a reality.
Sure. It's such a large building, and it has such a presence in the Hazleton area that it would be nice to have it being a productive building in the city of Hazleton. But unfortunately, it still sits empty. We tried to make contact with the Claremont Group a few times over the last week. To no avail. Unfortunately, it seems that they've disconnected their phone numbers and taken down their web presence. And city officials we talked to said that they've had trouble contacting them as well. So it's definitely in limbo. And again, if not, it's just totally shut down at this point. But we'll see where it goes from here. But as of now, it doesn't look positive for the plans for that building.
Well, Well, nice to have you back with us.
Sure.
And we hope to talk with you over the Memorial Day holiday about some of the programs that are coming up in the area. Mark Katcher, the managing editor of the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Thanks, guys. In another news, fire struck a vacant building in Lansford. It broke out after 1 o'clock this morning at 336 West Snyder Avenue. At one point, the flames spread to the roof of a neighboring home. Schuylkill County Coroner Dr. David Moylan won a three-way race last night and the Republican nomination for Congress in the 17th District. Moylan, the medical director at the Simon Kramer Cancer Institute, was top vote getter in a race that included Bethlehem Township sports car racing team owner Matt Conley and Wind Gap airplane pilot Matthew Dietz. The victory means that Moylan will square off against incumbent Democratic Congressman Matt Cartwright of Moosic in November. Moylan tells FYI he was humbled by the outcome. The 17th District includes all of Schuylkill County and parts of Carbon, Lackawanna, Luzerne, Monroe, and Northampton counties. In a newly redrawn legislative district, incumbent State Representative Gerald Mullery easily defeated challenger Tony Bonomo. Bonomo, a longtime Hazleton area school board member, did win by a nearly 2-1 margin in his hometown area of Hazel Township and West Hazleton, but it was Mullery who was victorious in all other parts of the district by more than a 4-1 margin. And millionaire businessman Tom Wolf will go head-to-head with Governor Tom Corbett in the fall. In his victory speech last night, Wolf called himself the luckiest person on the face of the earth right now. Wolf, who gained recognition from his TV ads, defeated U.S. Representative Allison Schwartz, State Treasurer Rob McCord, and former EPA Secretary Katie McGinty. Now from the desk of the Mayor of Hazleton, here's the latest street sweeping schedule. This is the schedule for Thursday, and you will see emergency no parking signs on the streets. Sweeping begins at 7 a.m. and takes place weather permitting. It's district playoff time for many of our local teams, and we'll talk about that in sports with sports editor Dave Seaman from the Standard Speaker. And to stay up to date with all your local teams, make sure you grab a copy of the Standard Speaker or visit them online at standardspeaker.com. When FYI comes right back, we'll fill you in on a special bake sale that a brother organized to help his little sister. And right after the break, make sure you have your pens, pencils, or tablets ready because it's time for some decorating tips in a segment we call What's the Sense?
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
We're back here on FYI, What's the Sense? Every Wednesday here with Tamara. And today we're doing a little recap because we've been getting such positive feedback from all of you watching that we want to talk about some of the items that you talked about in your other segments, right?
Yeah, what I thought I'd do today is just give a look at some of the things that we've done. A lot of people I got some comments that they don't have the internet, so they don't see the final results of things that we've done. So I'm just going to do a quick recap on that.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
This was the dresser that I did in the Miss Mustard Seed paint. I painted it with the linen color, and then after that, you just scrape it with the scraper, and it gives it that vintagey look.
And look at this. This was an old piece of furniture. I know all of you have one of those around the house, or you don't know what to do with old furniture. This is so much easier than having to stain it down and then, go back and look for a color. You just paint it over this with the mustard seed paint, right?
Right, and what's so nice about that is you don't have to sand.
Okay.
It will go over metal, it'll go over glass, it'll go over anything. And actually, the color that it was underneath is what made it really nice and brought that out. Now, I like it like that. I don't know, so that might not be someone's style, but they have the 18 different colors. And I love it. I put new hardware on.
And you can do this to your kitchen cabinets. Save yourself a lot of money.
Right.
All right, next we have the beautiful...
That was the tire.
tire.
I planted some flowers in that, and that's just for some scenery. I got a lot of feedback on the tires and the pallets. So
Good.
That was pretty fun. I love the feedback, so keep giving it to me. I want to kind of start a DIY, which is do-it-yourself on FYI. Send me in your photos, send in some ideas, and we'll put them on.
And what's your address here?
11 East Broad, Hazleton, Pennsylvania, 18202.
All right, so if you do not have the internet, you could send in by, we call it snail mail, but if that's your choice, you could send in your mail to tomorrow. And then we had, an old frame?
Broken, or an old window frame. I mustard seed painted that, put some pictures in that, and what's nice about that is you can put anything, dried flowers in it. And I'm going to show you something in one of the next episodes coming up with that.
Well, burlap was a popular item too that you worked with in the segment.
It was. And this is the chair. This is the chair I did over with the sacks, the burlap sacks. I made a valance and also a table runner. And this is the table runner. And what I did here is I singed it up and frayed it that it's longer. So that came out pretty nice. I'm happy with that one. I do have directions on how to cut burlap. So visit the website or visit Facebook. What's the Sense is my link, and that'll give you the blog that explains all the detail to how I did this.
All right, what are we doing next week?
Next week, I thought with it being Memorial Day, we'd do a little memorial craft.
All right, join us here every Wednesday on FYI.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Kind of an day out there, but who are we to complain about any day over 50 degrees in northeast Pennsylvania? Here's your weather from the National Weather Service tonight. Showers are likely and there could be a possible thunderstorm. We will get down to 55 degrees for Thursday. Another chance of showers and thunderstorms, and the high will be near 67. Thursday night, again, chance of showers, and then we will get down to 49 degrees on Friday. Another chance of showers. We will have a mostly cloudy day, though, with a high near 65. Friday night will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers, low around 48 for your Saturday. Another chance of showers, but expect a mostly sunny day for the most part with a high near 66. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 47. And for Sunday, mostly sunny, high near 72. And finally, Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 50.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat with their ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food with their burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, located on Route 93 in West Hazelton. Stop on by today or give them a call at 570-455-5362.
I am very pleased to welcome a special guest to our studio. I think he's 9 years old, but the way he talks and what he's doing, I really think he's an adult in a 9-year-old's body. I am pleased to welcome Dustin Polshin, who is in 3rd grade at the Drums Elementary Middle School. Thanks for being here, Dustin.
You're welcome.
Now, you are here to tell us about a wonderful special thing that you are doing. You're hosting a bake sale to benefit your little sister, and your sister is Julianne. She's 5 years old, and she is dealing with Cockayne syndrome. So first of all, why did you want to do what you're doing at the school, this special bake sale?
The reason why I'm doing this is because, see, there's this organization called Amy and Friends in the UK, and we're starting Amy and Friends North America. So I was thinking, why don't we raise money for the cause?
Wow. And Amy and Friends, that helps to find a cure for Cockayne syndrome?
Yes, and we meet once a year, usually at the UK.
Oh, wow. So now, tell us, I guess, a little bit about your sister, Julianne.
She is 5. She likes to play with balls, and she's very cute. I always play with her every day.
Well, she must take after her brother if she's very cute, because you're very handsome. Now, Cockayne syndrome is what your little sister has. Do you know what that is?
It's a genetic disorder that does not allow her to grow like the regular kids.
Okay, very good. Boy, you're a very good spokesperson here for the organization. Now, the bake sale will be taking place at your school this Thursday, so tell us about the bake sale.
What we're going to have at the bake sale, like drinks like water and juice. My friend's making fudge. My teacher's making muffins and brownies. We're having everything. My grandmother's even making cupcakes.
Wow, how can you pass up all these great goodies? Now, this is part of a big event taking place at the drum school called Kids Night, so other things will be going on as well.
Yes, we'll have the hamster balls outside that they have, and there's games all around the school with the teachers hosting them.
Wow, a big event. And then the best part of it, the tastiest part, is going to be your bake sale. So, and you're doing some baking too, aren't you? You're going to help bake these items?
Yes, I'm going to help my grandmother make the cupcakes, and my mom's going to help me make cookies.
Wow, you're a talented young man. Well, okay, we want everybody to come out again. That is this Thursday for Kids Night at the Drums Elementary Middle School from 5 to 8 p.m. And Dustin, before you leave us, I want you to look into that camera, tell all your friends, your teachers, your neighbors, what are they supposed to do on Thursday night at 5 o'clock?
Come to the Drums Elementary Middle School and help me support the cause.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I think I have a young man who may be interested in taking my job in the future. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, great job, Dustin. We're so pleased to have you here. We hope everyone will come out for this wonderful cause on Thursday night and help him find a cure for Cockayne syndrome.
Great job, Dustin, and good luck. There's a big concert happening at Heights Terrace Elementary Middle School on Thursday. The instrumental music students will perform at 9:30 a.m. in the cafeteria. The public is welcome and the concert is free. Performances will include the song What a Wonderful World, Crocodile Rock, plus music from Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, and that soundtrack gets me so pumped up I could swim from the Susquehanna River to the Caribbean. So it's a big night there, so please drop on by. And now here's a look at your Pennsylvania midday lottery numbers. The Daily 175, the Big Four 3300, Quinto 13881, and Treasure Hunt 25 22 24 28. Sports is next. We'll be right back.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
You know what day it is, but this is what I have to do. It's my job to remind you it's Dave Day on the Sportscast. Dave Seaman from the Hazleton Standard Speaker joins us, the sports editor there. And Dave, let's start talking with MMI baseball. Team's been really impressive. They're moving on to the semifinals in the District 2 Single A playoffs. And one player I've heard a lot about, his teammates are raving about him, the coach is raving about him, their catcher Sam Harmon, just about him calling games, throwing out runners. He has the offense as well. We're working on a feature story on him. Can you talk about the challenges of being a catcher, maybe even at the high school level?
Well, it's tough to be a catcher unless you're experienced, and Sam is definitely experienced. He's been around for a few years with the prepper program. Before that, he was involved in a lot of youth leagues in the area, and he makes that job easier. And they have a lot of experienced players with Corey Rogers and Charlie Karchner, R.J. Cupshaw, players like that, Alec Andes. But Sam Harmon is definitely one of the most experienced players. And for him to have the experience of calling games, being in charge of the pitchers, it's like another coach on the field for the team.
Prepper's on a great roll right now. You said last week they'll probably make some noise in the Single A playoffs. They definitely are. Did you expect the run they've had, though, here at the end of the season?
Well, they have had the best, as we talked about last week, they have had the best record that they've had in quite some time. Single A playoffs, again, go back to their experienced players. Charlie Karchner, Corey Rogers, they've been in the playoffs before, not only in baseball, but in basketball. And oddly enough, the team that they're playing now today in the playoffs, Old Forge, is the team that they lost to in the district basketball playoffs, in the finals, no less. So there might be a little bit of extra motivation for Preppers today.
All right, let's talk about two other teams in our area. Hazleton area, they'll take on Williams Valley, just won the division title in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Talk about that matchup.
Well, Williamsport brings a lot of tradition. They're always one of the top teams in the 2-4A sub-regional. A lot of talented athletes on that team. They play a tough schedule. So it's going to be a challenge for the Cougars, but the Cougars have been pointing to this postseason for a long time. Now it's time for them to show what they can do on a big stage.
Marion in the Single A District 11 playoffs. They will play Nativity. You said they've played twice already. Kind of like MMI playing Wyoming Sem in the first round. They played a few times. Talk with their pitcher, Charlie Karchner, who said, listen, I had to switch things up this game, and it was kind of difficult. Throw some junk pitches. Playing a team a third time around, always interesting.
It's always a challenge. I mean, you're supposed to beat that team, but the other team, Nativity in this case, has nothing to lose. Marion, too, they want to move on in the tournament, so I'm sure you're going to see the Colts' best game today.
All right, and Dave, I wanted to mention the Hazleton area Lady Cougars softball team playing through some adversity and investigation going on with the PIAA. They had to forfeit 2 games. Even so, they were still the #1 seed in District 2 Quad A. The girls, a great group to be around, and they've battled through this adversity and heading into the playoffs.
I think so. I think what they've done this year is remarkable. They haven't just beat teams, they beat up teams. They've really had a nice balanced lineup, up and down the lineup. They've been really strong. Their pitching is very, very good, surprisingly. After losing Becky Demko, who was a top-notch pitcher last year, their pitchers this year, Celine Podlesny and Sam Varela, have done an outstanding job. Their defense is fantastic, and again, their lineup can hit against anybody.
Finally, Dave, Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins getting ready for Game 7 in the AHL playoffs, the semifinals there in the Eastern Conference. Game 7s, do you think even as a fan, exciting or nerve-wracking both?
I'm not a super big hockey fan, but I do know enough about the sport to know that Game 7 in a hockey playoff, it's winner take all. The game is much cleaner. There are no cheap shots. You see less fighting and more pure hockey. And isn't that what sport's all about?
All right, you'll be able to see that in Wilkes-Barre tonight. Dave, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95, plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Brian Eric Walton Sr. of Upper Lehigh. Services will be held under the direction of the McNulty Funeral Home. Alan Ray Kroll, formerly of Rock Glen. Graveside Memorial Service will be held Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Nuremberg Cemetery. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. Patricia M. Kibler of Hazleton. Funeral is Friday at 9:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Frank Edward Waldron Sr. of Freeland. Funeral is Saturday at 8 p.m. from the Davis and Heppelwhite Funeral Home. Friends may call from 3 to 5 p.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. Francis E. Pitts of Gerardville. The Lukowitz-Orovitz-Fell Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Teresa A. Boris, Frackville. Mass is Thursday at 11 a.m. in the Annunciation Blessed Virgin Mary Catholic Church. Friends may call Thursday from 9 to 11 a.m. The Thomas M. Sullivan Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. William L. McCullough of Whitehaven. Funeral is Friday at 9 a.m. from the Lehman Family Funeral Service. Friends may call Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. Kimberly Ann Crash Szymanski of Shenandoah. Services are private from the Louis D. Truskowski Funeral Home. And Veronica B. Martinick, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral is Saturday at 9 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. Call Smilax for all of your special events, 570-454-0111.
It's a big night of sports in our area, so tune in tomorrow to see what happened. Plus, we'll talk about news and community events. It's what we do. Take it easy, everyone. We'll see you then.